I never liked the expression "New Year, New Me," right? Because the stuff that you had in the previous year, I guess in this case 2025, it still follows you into 2026. So I guess my question is, what are a lot of people's goals for today? I'm all for it today because it's obviously New Year, so I'm just relaxing and not really planning on doing too much. And do you have any New Year's traditions? And this kind of a curveball. Do you believe the new year actually starts in January, or would it be like in the March area? Guys, let me know. Also, I am Anthony or Spoken Anthony. Like, comment, and subscribe. I appreciate you. And check out some of my videos. I think the most recent video I did, I was talking about the Anthony Joshua situation. And it was pretty unfortunate what happened. Well, I didn't realize the guy, Healthy Mindset, he had a video on his Instagram. I believe that was his friend, Healthy Mindset, had a video on his Instagram to where he was trying to do a bench press and the bar slipped and it hit him in the chest. And I remember seeing that video. I didn't think nothing of it. I didn't know he was part of Anthony Joshua's entourage. And it's kind of like a final destination moment if you really think about it. Um, because that bench pressing incident very well could have been his last day, but instead it ended up being in Africa. Um, and yeah, I never really followed Healthy Mindset, so I really don't know too much about him. But just seeing that particular video, it's like, wow, you think you got away from something, but it came back to what's the one thing you can never escape death, right? It's just prolonged for a little bit. I guess his was a prolonged long enough, unfortunately. And from all accounts, from what I've seen about the guy, I haven't seen anything bad about him, like at all, which is pretty rare. A lot of the times when you see people who are, famous or they pass away and things like that, their skeletons come out, or people start talking uh, not so fondly about them in the comments and stuff. But you didn't see that about the Healthy Mindset guy, the Anthony Joshua friend who passed away during that car wreck. But outside of that, what do you guys do for New Year's, and how long do you go saying Happy New Year's? That's the one thing I never really got behind. When I was younger, people used to say Happy New Year all the way up until like January 10th. They'll still say Happy New Year. And to me, I always felt like, Happy New Year. Then, you know, after the first, or it's over done with, why you still say Happy New Year to me? What state am I in? I'm in Florida. Um, Florida, like the gun that's shaped like a gun. But which I always found kind of funny when people used to say that. I actually had a friend in high school who wanted to be a rapper, and that was one of his lyrics. You're from Wisconsin. Nice to meet you, Jackie. Gay, please. Hi, how's it going? So, how long do y'all say Happy New Year? I'm just kind of curious because, for me personally, after the first, I feel like it should be over and done with. But if you still keep saying, Happy New Year until like January 10th, like I was saying earlier, I think that's kind of excessive. I don't know. That's just me personally. But what are y'all planning on doing differently this year, right? Every single year somebody says that they're gonna, start working out, they're gonna start reading more, and things like that. I never really liked because you could have started doing that stuff before the new year happened if you was really truly serious about it. Um, like, what is something that's going to be an immediate change different that you're going to stick with uh, throughout the year? After the first bit, people saying to me, I say it back. Okay. Like for me, I really don't have anything different that I plan on doing this year. I've already started things that I wanted to improve upon, and it's just going to keep growing. I don't have a set goal. Kind of like how if you go to a gym a lot, and you see like your normal gym is, you can go at certain times and you can predict how many people are going to be there. But once the New Year's happen, it's packed full of people trying to get that New Year's resolution way off. It could have started that a long time ago. What state am I in? I'm in Florida. Florida, Florida, Florida. A good state. It has its ups and downs. You know, the thing I always said about Florida, the further down you go, the more north it seems. So if you're in the part of Florida from like Pensacola to Jacksonville, that's more of a red zone of Florida. But if you're like from Port Richey to Miami, then that's just like it is very multicultural, diverse. It's very different. It's very more blue when you go from that far on that go that far down. So, you know, Florida has a very interesting reputation. Most of the Florida man stories you hear are from places from like Pensacola to Jacksonville, maybe to uh, Daytona. Yeah, let's say from Pensacola to Daytona. That's where you hear all the Florida man stories from. Watching for the Philippines. Hey, I'm planning on visiting there later this year, actually. Um, Reason being is I want to do a lot of traveling this coming up summer. Um, my daughter's going to be graduating, and I'm planning on leaving the country, and it's going to take some time to myself and it's travel all over the world. One of the places I do want to go visit is the Philippines. You know, most people when they want to go out the country, they're first like, "Hey, I want to go to Japan. I want to go to whatever." Like, I don't want to go to those normal places. I want to go to the Philippines. The people always seem about like I get along with Filipinos and Filipinos here in the States. I can't imagine it being too much different there, hopefully. But with that same mindset, you know, sometimes different Asian groups view people like me a little differently. So I don't know. We'll see. But I've been hearing a lot of things, good things there. A lot of friends I know have been there. Same thing about Thailand too. I've heard a lot of amazing things about Thailand. Um, there's just a bunch of countries I just want to go and see. I don't want to see any European countries, like countries in the European area. I don't want to go to. I definitely want to visit some countries in Africa. Um, Everybody wants to go to Nigeria, and that's fine. I might visit there. I did have a friend that moved out there. I think they lived in Lagos, and I definitely want to go there eventually. I just plan on traveling. I just want to travel. I'll actually have time to do things for myself. And won't have to worry about another person for a while because they'll be off in college, so that'd be good. Watching from New York, good, good. How do you feel about the election in New York? Uh, a lot of people are, well, let me rephrase that. A lot of the mainstream media in New York, for the covering the stuff in New York, are saying New Yorkers are having buyer's remorse for Mandani. I wonder is that true? Um, Try adobo. I have tried adobo. Adobo is actually really good. I love adobo. I love adobo. I love pancit. What other Filipino dishes that I've had? It's that dessert stuff that looks like it's some kind of milk. I don't know what it's called. I had that before. It was pretty good. Um, yeah. I actually dated a woman that was from the Philippines, and she was from, I want to say Davos. That's how I pronounce Davos? And she said she was like a very well, she lived outside Davos in like a small country village. And she was telling me that she moved from the country to Davos, then from Davos to Melania or something like that. And she liked that area a lot better because it's a much bigger city. Uh, so yeah, it is what it is. I just want to, get out there, get a good use of my passport while I still can. Hopefully by that time, there's something on my nose as a shadow, and that's just a shadow. Hopefully I can still get use of my passport. Because a lot of countries don't want Americans there now, which kind of sucks. I mean, it's understandable. It really is understandable. But yeah, I still want to be able to do my traveling. I want to see the world. I feel like I sacrifice more than enough. That it's finally time for me to start doing things for myself. And I wasn't one of those parents that put their needs first. I put everything I wanted on hold, and I'm just like, you know what? Let me actually do something and reward myself. I know that makes sense to you or not. And it's had a thing that pop up. It has a question: cake for breakfast, okay? I mean, that is. Oh, okay. I don't know why it's that thing. I mean, truthfully, it just depends on the cake, right? For example, my favorite type of cake is red velvet. I love a good red velvet cake. In fact, I actually made one for Christmas. It was large enough to where I had to freeze half of it because I didn't want it to go to waste. And I don't eat that much sweets anymore. Mainly because, as you get older, you got to think about, diabetes and things of that nature. So, but I kind of want to experiment with the cake. Like, I want to try to take part of that cake and see, put it in waffle iron and see how that would turn out as a red velvet cake waffle. I think that'd be pretty good. Of course, I gotta scrape the icing off of it, but that's not a big deal. So, if you're watching, where would be some good places to where I could travel to in 2026? Because again, I don't want to go to the very commercialized places. I just want to go where it's just like very genuine people in love there. Um, yeah, I'm just curious. Yeah, I just feel like, or what I've seen, I should say, when it comes to the world in general, it gets very it gets very one sided when you just see things from the perspective of the mainstream media that's not brought out. I want to see things for myself. But I'm not trying to go to any dangerous places, of course. But some places that is very welcoming. Um, where's that place that Russell Simmons went to that he's been camping out at? I can't think what it's called right now. Bali? Yeah, Bali. I want to check out Bali too. The pictures and videos I've seen that places look gorgeous. Same thing with Thailand. Same thing with the Philippines. I just love gorgeous scenery. I don't want to be in another big city. I got big cities here. I can party and club here. I want to go to areas to where I could get very beautiful nature views that you only see in magazines. I don't want to go to a major city. I don't understand traveling and going from one city to the other city. I want to travel to go from like the city to like a beautiful unknown area that is have like large rocks in the ocean and different color waters and things of that nature. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think about that. And if you have any recommendations, place to travel to. And what are y'all doing for the new year? Or the rest of y'all just relaxing today? Are y'all going to be cooking? Do y'all have any particular New Year's foods that you like to eat? Yeah, let me change that question. Forget that cake and breakfast thing. Can I change this? Okay, let me delete it. And there we go. Let's go with that one. What are some New Year's foods that you eat? I don't want to move the box, but let's stay right there. You know what? That's fine. I ain't worried about it. It'll be all right. Yeah, what are some New Year's foods you eat? Maybe I should put that you eat. What are some New Year's foods you eat? Yeah, that's fine. I'm not at work. I'm just gonna let it be. So did anybody watch that Stranger Things final? Uh, that Stranger Things final? I'm not gonna lie, I was very disappointed. The only thing I liked about the whole entire Stranger Things final was the whole entire Lucas and Max, the Lou Max thing um, of the final season. They were pretty great. They had a, I felt like Lucas and Max really carried season five unintentionally because they're like a side quest, a side story. But the chemistry they had was really great. Um, it was cool seeing them grow up and graduate. That was nice too. And then what's another one? Who else stood out in that season? I really didn't care too much for Elle, um, Millie Bobby Brown's character. It's just I can understand Elle being kind of emotionless and indifferent or anything like that um, in the beginning, like season one. But as time progressed, you would have think she would have had a lot more emotion and range, the character that is, and still didn't see that. It was very lacking. And to get everybody so separate. So let's see. You ate nothing. Well, it's still on depending on what time of day it is. There's still time to cook something. I'm frightening. Okay. Why don't you think I read the chat? Now there are some stuff in the chat I do choose to ignore, but because you have some dummies in here sometimes. Like this guy. Yeah. I had a guy that used to come in here and monitor my stuff for me, but yeah, I don't know what happened to him. But my chats, I haven't gone live in like 6 months, I don't think, on my phone. And that's mainly because I just took a break from the internet for a while. I uploaded videos to my YouTube. So if you ever go look at my YouTube channel, you'll still see videos and stuff on there. But it's hard for me just sitting here going live. I just haven't done it in almost 6 months. I just need a break. It was just exhausting, especially with all the stuff you kept seeing back and forth about the e-files and the orange guy and all this other kind of stuff. It was just like, okay, I'm mentally checked out, which I think that was the overall goal because a lot of stuff that came out, nobody's really talking about or giving enough attention to it. Okay, yeah, had to get rid of that guy. My goodness. The one thing I can say about this new administration, people really do show how they feel about you, um, which is fine. It doesn't bother me. People are always going to have a negative opinion. Nobody's going to like you 100%. You can do everything right in life, and somebody's going to find something to hate about you. That's just what it is. So let me ask you a question. What would you prefer for somebody to do? I'm genuinely curious about that because the whole entire point of going on live is to talk, right? I guess no answer there. Okay. Anyways, moving forward. Back to what I was saying about the whole entire Stranger Things thing. Um, Lucas and Matt's great. Um, the character Matt's getting her name right now. Her acting was amazing. So much so I think she had to be exhausted after it. Um, some of the characters just didn't have growth. What was it like? Will's mom. I can think of her name right now. Nancy. No, that's not Nancy. No, what was her name? I wish I had like another device next to me so I could look it up right quick. But um, the Wheeler, her last name is Wheeler. Will's mom. She she always just looks stressed out every single episode. Not one episode did she ever look happy or relaxed. Even at the very last episode and at the last 15 minutes, when she got proposed to and asked to move of Hopper, she still looked stressed out and unhappy. And I just never understood how one person, their whole entire thing is just to look miserable. I understand her son was kidnapped or taken and was experimented on and had things happen to him. I understand that, she maybe suffered some type of PTSD, but that one scene that I could think of, she genuinely just looked happy and relaxed. Like her whole stick was just looking stressed out and borderline crazy. But yet Hopper fell in love with her. And I guess that's fine. Well, mister, you're the only one here. You're not really saying anything. You asked me a question. I answered it. Um, yeah, that's just what it is. That's how it goes sometimes. Sometimes you're in here talking to 50 people. Sometimes you're talking to one. It's one of those things. Yeah, I said hi back. Stewie dog. I don't know what a Stewie dog is, unless that's the name of the dog in your picture. Bye, hi back. Um, yeah. What time is it? I gotta go in a few minutes anyway. But if you guys haven't, go ahead and subscribe. I appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a great day.